Hi, I'm Nikki Lewis and welcome to the guest list. On today's show, I'm talking to Natalie Chan, bridal dress designer. And then a little bit later, I'm going to be speaking to Frank from Frank Casey Suit Hire. So we've got quite a packed show for you today. Now it's time for celebrity weddings. This story that has gone viral and has its own Twitter hashtag. Now the story began when a text was posted online with a wedding shoot invitation that was sent to the wrong number. And then it was followed by this photo of a wedding party and a group of strangers who turned up at the shoot. It has since emerged that the text was fake, but the real story behind the photo is perhaps even more entertaining. It turns out that the wedding party took a ride around Detroit in America for a shoot following their wedding. Outside the abandoned Michigan train station, the wedding party bumped into the rap group 7262, who were filming a music video and invited the newlyweds to star in their video. The photo is actually a still from the video, and it makes for a really memorable wedding story for them to tell their kids. Now, in other celebrity news, we all know that Pippa Middleton became quite the celebrity at Will and Kate's wedding. Well, it's now Pippa's turn. She is getting engaged to Nico Jackson. It is rumored that the pair have been they've been dating now for 2 years, and it is predicted that the wedding is going to take place in 6 to 9 months after Jackson pops the question. So it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to be Kate's turn to actually be a bridesmaid for her sister's wedding this time. So let's see what's going to happen. And in other wedding news, Glee star Naya Rivera has married actor Ryan Dorsey in a secret ceremony held in Mexico just 3 months after ending her relationship or her engagement to rapper Big Sean. So Naya wore a backless gown with a scalloped neckline and long sleeves, but it was her wedding ring that is actually gaining the most attention, and sources are estimating that the ring cost $150,000 US. So quite some rock that she was wearing. That's it for celebrity weddings. After the break, I'm going to be talking to dress designer Natalie Chan.
The guest list is made possible with support from wedding champions who make your magic day possible. People like Edgewater Resort in Rarotonga, the perfect spot for all your family and friends to celebrate. And what a place to have that honeymoon. Thinking weddings and honeymoon, think Edgewater Resort Rarotonga. And speaking of dream holidays or a wedding overseas, talk to the expert on travel, honeymoons and romantic escapes, Anita Gatley Travel. Anita can identify all the idyllic resorts for that perfect honeymoon. Just moments away with a phone call. Anita Gatley Travel. Give Anita a call on 0508 Honeymoon. As simple as that, 0508 Honeymoon.
Joining me now is dress designer Natalie Chan. Now, tell us a little bit about you. How did you get into the industry? How did you become a dress designer?
From the age of 7 years old, I've always wanted to be in fashion, and I got myself into the industry just by volunteering at the age of like 13 to 15. And when I left school, I went to a fashion course, and I had an opportunity to work for designers. So I worked for Chalise Cooper when I was 17 in her workroom, and experienced my first fashion week as well.
Oh, how exciting.
And also her own first fashion week. And then after that, over time I also worked for a fabric store. I had an opportune time to have my own business, and so I took that leap in 2002, and I've never looked back.
Now, where do you get your inspiration from? Because your designs are so uniquely yours. Whenever I open a magazine, whether it be the bride and groom or New Zealand weddings, I know instantly that it's a Natalie Chan design. So where does your inspiration come from?
Comes from a variety of things. I might see something in a magazine, a movie, a song will trigger me, reading a book, and then my imagination just goes wild, and then I just love to create beautiful, pretty things.
Wow, that's so cool, really is. And it's not just the dresses, and we'll talk about your dresses that you brought in a minute, but you have beautiful items that accessorize these dresses as well. That's a big part of your collection. It
is. I love accessories. I think like with the headwear or anything like that, it's like the cherry on top. It's the finishing touch. A cake could never be a cake without like the finishing. And so I guess the other thing is the style, and me, I'm always about the details. And we carefully, me and my team of girls, we carefully, have such a fun time playing with things, and then we keep on adding things on. But there is a tipping point, though. You don't want to add too much and over embellish either.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the dresses that you've brought in here. I just love the fabric of this one. So let's talk about this one first, and then we talk about that one too.
Yes. Yep.
So what have we got here?
We have got, so this one's probably a little bit more fashion forward, but it's more modern contemporary. It's made out of silk du pion, so it's basically like a taffeta, slightly stiff, but it's not so stiff that it's going to stand up on its own. And so it gives a really good body. And I basically hand cut all the lace and made it into appliques, and hand sewn a few other intricate little beads as well.
Can we lift this veil
so
we can see the detail underneath here?
And so what we've got is all these hand cut beautiful lace that I've done, and also hand sewn a couple of the beads as well. So that's all being hand tagged. And on the collar we've got a beautiful collar of pearls that I've also hand sewn on through a motif. Thankfully it didn't take too long, and what I mean by too long, it didn't take me a whole month. And then I also covered it with appliques, so then you can kind of see through for the extra detail. But the goodie of this dress is there's actually pockets, quite deep pockets. So for all of those digital savvy brides, and also the ones that want to touch up on their makeup with like, a bit of a lip gloss, and possibly have their phone on them, you can't even see it. You can just have you can have what you want in your pockets, and it won't bulk out, which I think is so
clever.
And I think it's so practical as well.
Absolutely, and you would have no idea.
It's part of the seam.
I can't see where those pockets are at all.
It's on the side seam, so that's just what's really amazing with it. And what makes it really beautiful is that if we turn it at the back, there's a beautiful cutout as well, which again is quite fashion forward, but at the same time it's still really classical and beautiful, but feminine, but still got lots of detail as well. So this is one of my favorite ones.
It's absolutely gorgeous, really beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this one here. These little they're little cuff sleeves. They're just beautiful.
Yeah, so we've got like the lace on the shoulders, but what's really great is because it's on top of the tulle, when from far away it actually looks like those lace bits of details that we've hand sewn on is floating on the shoulders, which I think is quite romantic. So this look is more whimsical, romantic in a different way, and probably, it's definitely more girly, and because of the type of fabric it is. These are two different looks. Still, probably, again, a bit more fashion forward as well, because I like to make things a little bit more new as well. Basically the cut of the bodice is also quite clever, because the way it's being cut, it looks like from far away it could be a strapless, quite a low back top with some floating detail, but in fact it's actually drapes of and pleated, soft bridal tulle. Fantastic. And the best bit is because I also love color, so this one's a little bit more cheeky and fun, is that we've also got it with a bit of pink.
Lovely.
So if you want to add a bit of color that's still a bit more discreet and still fun, and so for example, like the bride will turn up to the ceremony in a long dress, and it's all couture and gorgeous, And for example, maybe with the reception and she wants to have her first dance, you can actually remove that top layer and you end up having a cocktail dress.
Brilliant.
So that's another, practical, fun, transforming dress is what we call it.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
she's basically got 2 looks for her wedding.
She does. And I'm
Fabulous.
actually, in fact, doing that for one of my brides that I've got currently.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is so, so clever. I love that. That's really, really great.
Yeah, and I like to be practical and have fun doing things. And so those are just my bits, like with that dress, that's the one with the pockets. It's quite fun and different. But with this one, it's more a transforming type dress, which I think, is so different because I don't think I've seen too many dresses like that in the wedding industry.
No, I don't think I've seen anything like that before, and I've done loads and loads and loads of weddings. So, what sort of headwear would you wear with something like this?
This one here, so it depends what bride you want to be. If you want to be a bohemian type bride and you want something quite fun, we've got these cute light lace little headbands that you can wear. Right. And you can just have them like almost slightly Great Gatsby-esque. And it'll look great with hair like yours if it was like nice and cropped and, quite nice and short. If you had longer hair, you could have your hair up into almost like a semi-bouffant and then like a French roll and then have the headband around it, which I think would look gorgeous. Yes. I'd probably happily say about 80% of the photos after the professional photographers left, you'd have them more looking like hair. Yeah. So you still want to have something quite gorgeous in your hair, I think.
Now, Natalie, if a bride would like to come and see you, whereabouts do they find your beautiful boutique?
If you're in Auckland, at 229 Parnell Road, that's my boutique there. If not, I've got a website and it's www.nataliechan.co.nz.
Fantastic.
And for those that are into their social media, and I've got a Facebook account, which is under the Natalie Chan Boutique, and also on Instagram as well, and Pinterest.
Oh, fantastic. So
yes,
the whole gamut.
Got the whole thing, because it is, with our industry, it is creative, and you're giving inspiration as well. So for example, with Pinterest, it's great because I have brides that turn up, and they've got their own boards, and then they go, this is what I really like of yours, and these are other inspirations that I have of my other things. And it's quite nice because subconsciously they end up picking things. There's always a common thread, and so that's what I'm looking for. And and my job is to pick all the best ideas and put them into the one dress. Absolutely. And filter it, because sometimes less is more again.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And Pinterest is fantastic. I'm an avid pinner, I have to say.
It is, and I'll tell you what, it's back in the, back about 10 years ago, they used to bring in scrapbooks. And then it became color photocopies from like the internet, and now it's just Pinterest, basically. Yes.
Natalie, thank you so much for joining me here on the couch. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Nikki, so much for hosting. I had such a lovely, amazing time today.
Well, thank you, and I'm sure lots and lots of people are going to be coming to your very beautiful boutique in Parnell. After the break, I'm going to be talking to Frank Casey from Frank Casey's Suit High, so I'll see you after the break.
The guest list is made possible with support from wedding champions who make your magic day possible. People like Edgewater Resort in Rarotonga, the perfect spot for all your family and friends to celebrate. And what a place to have that honeymoon. Thinking weddings and honeymoon, think Edgewater Resort Rarotonga. And speaking of dream holidays or a wedding overseas, talk to the expert on travel, honeymoons and romantic escapes, Anita Gatley Travel. Anita can identify all the idyllic resorts for that perfect honeymoon. Just moments away with a phone call. Anita Gatley Travel. Give Anita a call on 0508 Honeymoon. As simple as that, 0508 Honeymoon.
Hi, welcome back to the guest list. I'm Nikki Lewis. Joining me on the couch is Frank Casey from Frank Casey Formal Suit Hire. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you very much, Nikki.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, first of all, how did you get into the business of suits?
Well, I started at Farmers Trading Company and then in menswear. My father had a small shop in Onehunga, which I joined after travelling for many years. I ran that business for 22 years, mainly dealing in suits. I sold all that after 22 years and took a year off. The share market got me a little bit and I had to go back to work. So that was in '86. So I decided I'd carry on in suits and had a look around, decided suit hire would be possibly a good business to get into.
So you're probably one of the longest, are you the longest standing suit hire company?
Oh no, there was Hugh Wrights when we first came in. They'd been around for years. They fell over. A number of them did, the smaller suit hire guys. Mm-hmm. And we've stayed strong, and it's there's a formula to keep strong though, with good quality stock, reasonable prices, and just keeping up with the market.
How many stores do you have?
We've got 7 stores in Newlyn, Takapuna, Newmarket, Manukau City, Hamilton, Tauranga and Wellington Central.
So you've pretty much got the North Island covered.
We have. Yes,
that's fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
Great. Now, you guys don't just do weddings, you do all types of events.
Yep.
What
we
sort of
do
events
black tie is big for us, what's on behind us. We do an awful lot of corporate events, an awful lot. Any award night, the boxing, it's a big business, the black tie event, and it's corporate. The other side of it is school balls for the kids. We run a lot of specials for them, and we also do the super skinny suits that the kids want.
Oh, I can imagine those are so popular.
They like it, so we've got to keep up with that. So we've got a good range for the kids too.
How do you keep abreast of what is on trend, what is popular, what's going to be coming out in the next season?
I travel a lot and I see what's going on overseas. There's the overseas magazines. There's our suppliers in New Zealand who are very good. They keep us on the ball. Mm-hmm. And we're now also dealing with overseas manufacturers. They bring in a lot of samples for us to look at. My daughter Rachel does a lot of that work. And we really get a feel of what's going on the market. And I've just got back from Europe, and we're right on the ball with the skinny fits and so on, double vents, narrow lapels. We're right on the ball with that.
Now let's have a quick chat about the beautiful suits that you've got here today.
Right.
So let's first talk about this, which to me looks like an absolute classic.
Yeah, that is our Milano suit, which is our original suit, although the style of it has changed dramatically. They used to be quite a boxy cut, wide lapel. Now they're narrowed, they're waisted, they're double vented at the back, satin trim on the pockets. That one is also a 3-piece, so you can have it as a 3-piece or a 2-piece. But that is still our biggest hiring jacket for black tie, and also probably 50% of the weddings.
Wow. And what about this beautiful?
And that fellow there, we're doing now a lot of weddings in that suit and in this fellow that I've got on. Mm-hmm. Again, they're a slim fit. I won't stand up, but they are
gorgeous.
slim
I can
fit.
see here how it's
very
tailored.
waisted, double vented at the back, a very tapered trouser,
Mm-hmm.
and a very slim fitting trouser. They're worn slightly shorter. You can see a shorter cut jacket compared, say, with the black jacket.
Right. Yeah, you can see here.
Yeah. So that is right on. Even those colours for weddings and so on now, they're right on the mark. And we do it in black also. So this is the dark navy in it, but right on the ball.
Now, you guys don't just do suits, you also do accessories.
Yeah, we do. We do a big range of shirts, and again, waisted shirts, the tapered shirts. We do a Marcella with a wing collar, pleated front with a wing or with a plain, what we call a CA collar. And we do a lot of what I'm wearing, which is just a nice business shirt. They're all double cuff, and they all come with cufflinks.
Great.
Through the whole range.
What about things like bow ties, ties?
Yeah, huge range, a huge range. With ties, to suit a bridesmaid, for instance, we can do any colour. Our manufacturers carry stock. We carry, I know our Newmarket store, for instance, would carry 60 different shades.
Wow.
And the groom or the bride can say, I want that green one, and we can have it delivered in a couple of days.
Fantastic.
Now they buy those, or we have a big range of hire ties, which are about $15 to hire.
Shoes are another avenue of accessories that you do.
Again, having just come back from overseas, this is the shoe, not just as a formal wear shoe, but also as a regular wear shoes. And the interesting thing overseas now is the amount of shoes that are worn without socks.
Really?
Yep. Dinner suits. First time I ever saw a guy wear patent leather shoes and no socks was Rod Stewart, when him and Rachel opened up Sky City. And here was Rod in a beautiful cream tuxedo, black trowel, shirt and tie, patent shoes, no socks.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it.
And he started a trend.
Now it's very fashionable overseas.
Fantastic.
So we've got the shoes.
They're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's talk about pricing.
Yep.
What sort of is the price range to hire
With
a suit?
our hire, it runs from about, offhand, about $120. This is for a suit, $125 to $165. There's waistcoats available, which are $35. So compared with our retail friends who are retailing suits, guys can get a fabulous outfit with shirts and tie and so on, around the $200 mark.
That's incredibly reasonable.
Yeah. And the advantage there is, particularly with the wedding boys, if they buy a suit, they own it. They may not wear it again, or very rarely. The styles do change, so with a hire, they get it well priced, still the same quality, but they just return it. And when they pick it up, of course, it's all dry cleaned, all the shirts are starched, so they get a lovely product.
And it's all ready to go.
It's all set to go.
Right. Now talk me through the actual process. So bride and groom,
right.
It's time to get the
Time
suits.
to get the suit. Well,
What
the bride
happens?
always gets done first, as we know.
Yes, of course she
and
does.
And the guys always come second, but they are, of course, to us so important. So what we prefer with a wedding is that the bride and the groom to come in without all the groomsmen, because then they can concentrate on what they want. They try all the garments on as much as they want to try on, but the website has made it easier now for everybody. They try it on. Once they pick out what style they like, those guys can come in at any time for a fitting without the hassle of getting 6 guys in there at once. And so they come and try it on. We do all the measurements, and a day or two before the wedding, when it suits the groom, we have everything ready in bags, labelled in their names. They come in, and we like them all to try the garments on again to make sure everything is spot on, and that all the accessories of ties, handkerchiefs, etc. are there, and the shoes. The shoes are another big thing that we hire too. And so it's a complete service that way, so there's no slip-ups.
Fantastic. Now when somebody hires a suit, they don't just get something straight off the peg. You actually do some alterations, don't you?
Yes, we run, for instance, we can fit nearly anybody. I was thinking this morning, we've dressed over the years the New Zealand Breakers and the New Zealand basketball team. Now
That's no mean feat, because some of those boys are really
There's a
tall.
number of 7-footers there. We have over the years done most of the senior rugby players, and they can be big boys, but we still fit them. We've got a huge range, and I was just trying to think of our little smaller size. We started about a 4 or 5 year old, but we go up to, I think from memory, it's 154 centimetre chest.
Right.
Now that's a big boy. That's a big prop
yep.
forward, and we specialise in that. So, that's fitting is not a problem. We're also, a lot of the retail shops just couldn't possibly fit those people. They'll fit middle of the road guys, but not when it comes to super large.
Yeah, no, I can well imagine. And I know I've hired a little suit for my son when he was a page boy when he was 4. So you also do the littlies too.
Yeah, the little ones too.
Yeah, which are really cute.
Yeah.
And they all match the
Yes,
groomsmen.
yeah. Not in every style, but we run the good basic ones, dinner suits, that sort of thing, or morning suits, tails. So, yeah.
And now let's talk about your website, because you've got a really unique feature on your website, which is super cool.
Yeah, we've got a new website, and for a number of years now we've had what we call a virtual model, and we've updated that. Now the virtual model is where you just click onto it, and there will be a silver bust of a man, and you can then list what trouser you want, what shirt, what waistcoat, what jacket, what style, and you just go click, click, click. And the jackets will just change so quickly. You can print it off, you can email it to friends, particularly it's good for overseas weddings. If they're in London or Sydney or whatever, you can just click it over and say that's what we're wearing. And that saves us a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it saves the bride and groom a lot of time too. Also for our black tie customers, company secretaries can just go online and tell the boss what he's going to wear. Also, once they've had a suit office, we keep it on file, what we call on file in our computer, and the secretary can just ring at any time and say, Mr. Jones wants his suit, we love them calling it that, for tonight, and we'll
pull it up.
Just pull it up, and there it is, yes.
Fantastic.
Plus, by having so many stores, if that style is out, we might say have 6 in a certain size. If we're out, we just draw it off another store.
That's brilliant to have that
Yeah,
service.
it is.
People want to visit the website. How do they get hold of you?
Easy, and easy to remember. It's www.frankkc.co.nz.
Frank, thank you so much for coming in and
My
chatting
pleasure.
to us. It's been wonderful, and I strongly encourage people to go onto the website. The virtual model is brilliant to use. It really is. I think it's one of your best features that you have, and it's interactive, it's playful, and it gives people a real sense of what they can do. And they might have an idea, and then once they start playing, that idea might change, which I think is really great.
Yes.
So
Well, thank you very much.
I've been chatting to Frank Casey from Frank Casey Formal Suit Hire, and I do recommend that you head onto that website because that virtual model really is quite fantastic. Now don't forget, if you have missed any of our past episodes, you can hop onto our website www.theguestlist.co.nz. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/theguestlistnz. That's it for our show today. I hope you have enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. I'm Nikki Lewis.